Hey there, and welcome. Today, we are going to get right into something absolutely fascinating: how we think. No, really. We're going to explore the two very powerful and sometimes kind of conflicting minds that live inside your head and guide pretty much every single decision you make. So let's just kick things off with a huge question, shall we? When you make a choice, are you actually in the driver's seat, or is something else kind of pulling the strings? The answer might just surprise you. You see, the way cognitive scientists talk about it, our brain basically has two different operating systems. A great way to picture it is like a cockpit with two operators. There's the fast, instinctive autopilot, and then there's the slow, careful pilot who can step in and take manual control when things get tricky. And this whole idea is at the core of what's called dual process theory. System one, that's your autopilot. It is lightning fast, totally automatic, and it just runs on pure gut feeling. It's how you instantly know that 2 plus 2 is 4, right? No thought required. But system two, well, that's your inner pilot, and it is the complete opposite. It's slow, it's deliberate, it's analytical. It's the system you have to fire up to solve the tricky math problem, like, say, 17 times 24. Yeah, you're probably firing it up right now. Here's the thing. Our brain, by design, is a little bit lazy. Thinking hard with System 2 burns a ton of mental energy. So, to save fuel, our brain just defaults to the System 1 autopilot for most of our day-to-day lives. It's a brilliant energy-saving shortcut, but it comes with a hidden cost. Because, well, when we rely too much on that autopilot, things can go wrong. System 1's shortcuts, as efficient as they are prone to some really predictable errors and biases that can lead us way off course. Let's take confirmation bias, for example. This is a classic System 1 flaw. It's our brain's natural habit of cherry-picking information that supports what we already believe, while at the same time, conveniently ignoring anything that might challenge our views. And this happens all the time. I mean, think about it. If you're totally convinced your favorite brand of phone is the absolute best, your brain will literally highlight every glowing review you see and just dismiss the bad ones as, haters or outliers. You're not being objective. Your autopilot is just running a program to confirm what it already thinks. So the big question is, how do we fight back against these built-in mental shortcuts? Well, the key is knowing when to wake up the pilot, when to consciously and deliberately engage our slow, effortful, analytical System 2. And that, right there, is the very heart of critical thinking. It's not some passive thing that just happens. No, it's the deliberate, effortful act of engaging System 2 to really analyze the situation, to question our own assumptions, and to reason our way to a much better conclusion. Okay, so how does our brain decide when to make that switch? It all happens through this really fascinating internal process. When your autopilot, System 1, spits out a quick answer, your brain also generates something called a feeling of rightness about that answer. You can think of it like a confidence score. If that feeling, that score, is really high, we just go with the gut reaction. But if it's low, if something just feels a little bit off, that is the trigger. That's what tells our analytical mind to wake up and take a much closer look. So we can break this whole process down into 3 simple steps. First, boom, you get that initial intuition from System 1. Second, there's that super fast internal gut check, that feeling of rightness. And then third, only if that feeling is weak does the alarm bell finally ring for System 2 to step in and do the heavy lifting of deliberate analysis. Now, what's really cool is that this internal challenge, knowing when to switch from autopilot to pilot, it isn't just a human thing. It is the exact same problem that researchers are running into as they try to build truly intelligent AI. Most of today's AI is absolutely brilliant at System 1 style thinking. It can recognize patterns in just enormous amounts of data. But the holy grail, the real goal, is to get AI to climb the ladder to true System 2 style understanding and reasoning. And a really powerful way to think about this journey is something called the ladder of causation. Okay, so at the bottom rung, you have association. This is where AI just sees patterns, like lightning often comes with thunder. The next rung up is intervention. And that's all about predicting what happens when you actually do something. The what if I flip this switch question. But the highest level, the top of the ladder, is counterfactuals. And this is about imagining what-if scenarios that never even happened and asking why. This is the realm of true understanding. So you can really see the progression here, right? We go from just seeing patterns to predicting the results of our actions, and then all the way up to imagining completely different realities. That is a climb from basic data processing to genuine intelligence. It's a journey from what is to what if. Which, of course, brings us full circle, right back to our own minds. Because mastering this ladder of reasoning isn't just a challenge for machines, it is the fundamental challenge of human critical thinking. And here is a super important point, so listen close. While critical thinking absolutely requires the effort of System 2, simply turning that system on does not guarantee that you'll actually think critically. It's necessary, for sure, but it is not sufficient. And here's why that is. We can actually use all of that powerful analytical brain power not to find the truth, but to find really clever-sounding arguments that just defend our original gut feeling. This is a trap called motivated reasoning, and it's basically just using your smart inner pilot to justify your autopilot's mistakes. So, when you boil it all down, the ultimate challenge for us and for the AI we're trying to build isn't just about having a more powerful analytical engine. It's not about raw cognitive horsepower. No, it's about developing the wisdom, that metacognitive skill, to know when to doubt your own intuition, when to override your autopilot, and when it's time to engage in that really effortful process of genuine, critical thought. That, right there, is the real secret to better reasoning. So the next time your gut screams an answer at you, are you going to stop and ask your inner pilot for a second opinion? What will you choose to use your System 2 for? That's really the question. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.